Good morning. I'm so happy that you can be with me today on this summer solstice, Father's Day. What a great blessing it is for this high holy day. So many people around the world celebrate summer solstice, and today it falls on Father's Day. My name is Reverend Martha Quintana. I am the senior minister here at the Rio Grande Center, and I'm so happy to be with you today, and I'm glad that you can be with me as well. We have so much to celebrate. Also, we are in the middle of beginning to reopen our center, and I'll be talking to you a little bit more about that, what that's going to look like. And we'll be getting a lot more information out to our community as we begin that work of reopening our center and coming back together as a community in a way that allows us to remain safe, that stays under government guidelines. What a great day. Today, helping me in service is our Marilyn OLeary, who will be doing our invocation. Ken and Kamatara Johnson have a very special song in store for us. Doing high watch all over the city is Julia Washington, Toby Pope, Kathy Mathiasen, Greg Gardner, and so many other people. I am so happy that they are here with us. Of course, doing the our technical goddess is Annette Martinez across the river. We have so many people, and thank you for joining us today. All right. With that, I would like to invite Marilyn OLeary into our studio to give us an invocation.
Thank you, Martha. On this beautiful day of the solstice, when there is so much light, I am reminded of the light of spirit that is in each of us and that is in the world. And I call upon this innermost light and this outermost light to join with us now in our awareness in this beautiful center, in this beautiful gathering, and know that we are one in it. We are one, and we are divinely guided, protected, and we are joined. And I know that we are with God, that God is in me, and that God is in me as all that is needed in the world for divine expression. We are the expression of God. And so God is whatever it is that we are and need and want in me, in you, in all of us, is abundance, is peace, is justice, is health and well-being. It is all in us. And as we come together today, we know this, we affirm it, and we express it. And we are joyful. And I give thanks today for this service. I give thanks for Reverend Martha. I give thanks for all the people who have put this together so beautifully. I give thanks for the people who do the sound and the video so that we can see and hear and we can communicate. I give thanks for the people who do the music and the singing. I give thanks for the people who have been behind the scenes getting our center ready for us to return. I give thanks to the practitioners, to the board, to the congregants, to all people who join in making this group, this community, one, in reminding us what love does, how love is power, and how love as us, as we express ourselves, can change the world, and how we have belief and faith and love, knowing that it is all for the good. So I bless this service. I bless Reverend Martha. I bless everyone who is involved. I bless all of us who are listening, who are participating, and remind us again that we are one. Our community is beautiful, and our love for each other only expands within us. And so being grateful for that, please join me and say, and so it is.
Thank you, Marilyn. Oh, I love that prayer today. It's exactly what I'm talking about. We are all we are all born of the divine. And it's a practical thing that I say that. We are all born of the divine because each of us has inside of us a spirit that animates our body. And it is that spirit that we are returning to. I'd like to start with a meditation. He calls it a meditation, but it's a quote from our founder, Ernest Holmes, from The Science of Mind. He says, "As love enters, fear departs. As love enters, fear vanishes. I'm so filled with love that no fear can enter my thought. I'm so filled with love that no fear can enter my thought. I'm not afraid, for I know that a perfect intelligence guards and governs my every act. Perfect love casts out all fear. I am unafraid and strong in my faith in that inner presence that keeps me from all harm. Perfect love casts out all fear." Ah, happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. And it's not just men, it's women, all of the people that have had to step up and be fathers to their children. I am so grateful for that. Grateful for that perfect kind of love. I know in my case, my dad was perfect for me. I didn't get to have him for that long in my life. He passed away when I was 17 years old. But in the short time that I had him, he taught me so very much. He loved to learn. And because of that, I love to learn. He instilled that in me. He loved nature. He was funny. My dad was wicked funny and had a great sense of humor. He enjoyed life, my dad. And I'm grateful for him today. It's on Father's Day that I remember him and know that he is perfect. And through him, I came to know my own spirit even better. Through our fathers, whether we had good relationships, bad relationships, we came to know our spirit even better through them, because through them came our ancestral lineage. And we have so many, each of us have traits we like, maybe traits we don't like, maybe, but all of it came through our dad. So on this day of summer solstice, it's an important day to remember all of this, to remember to go back to the spirit. It is that, as Marilyn said, that we are born of this divine. And for us in Science of Mind, this is a very practical thing. It's not just about a theory, and this lovely sentiment, I'm just a child of the Creator. No, I have a spirit that is my part of that Creator that animates my body. Because of that, and this is what I'll say, because of that, there is no normal. And there isn't any standard. There's no normal. It's when somebody says, well, I just want to be normal. There really isn't any normal. But I tell you what we do have. We have a moral compass inside each of us, that small intuitive voice that allows us to know, that allows me to know what it is that I should be doing, what's right, what's wrong, how do I proceed, what is it that I should be doing with my life. When I follow that moral compass, I never get lost. It's easy to see in small children. It's as we grow and our lives become busy. I know as my life has become busier and busier, it's to clear that away so that I can know the spirit inside of me becomes the art. I remember when my daughter, she's now grown, but when my daughter was 18 months old, we were in a public gathering, and I was talking to someone, and and out of the corner of my eye, she was standing right next to me, and out of the corner of my eye, I saw her put her little hand up, this little 18-month-old girl, and she put her little hand up and she said, "Stay away." And you could barely hear that. And I looked up, and there was a woman trying to pick her up. Not that the woman had any bad intentions, but I didn't know the woman well, but I happened to know her well enough that she was having a bad time in her life and that she had had that bad time for a while. And my daughter kind of knew not to be, she didn't want to be caught in the energy of that person. So I swooped up my daughter and said, well, she's kind of picky, but she knew at 18 months old, she knew who she wanted to be around and who she didn't. And it is that same purity of spirit that we have today. It's that same purity of spirit that allows me to know that I truly am a child of the divine, a daughter of the divine. Each of us is a child of that divine. And it allows us to know that there isn't anything we can do to get good enough. In Ernest Holmes' book, It's Up to You, I've been reading that. In chapter 7, he says, some of us get this, and he calls it absurd idea that one day, are we good enough to put forth any good? Are we good enough? Of course we're good enough. We're born of the divine. And he says that it's in this that we become that good enough. He says, it gives us a new sense, because each of us are evolving, it gives us a new sense of human values to realize that all humanity is divinity. All humanity is divinity, waking up to itself through self-discovery and self-realization. All our study and concern with theories is only that we may prove and practice them. So if you believe in God, believe, have faith, know that whatever it is that you are seeking is already yours to know. Each of us arrives here with the toolkit that we need. Each of us arrives with a goodness so incredible and beautiful and strong that we know exactly what it is and when we need to do it. That's the faith. He goes on to say, and I love this, he says, we know, and this is the Father's Day side, right? He says, we know that we are the sum total psychologically of everything that has gone before. We know that we are the sum total of everything that has gone before. Spiritually, we are the offspring, if we wish to put it that way, the manifestation or emanation of a universal wholeness. And he's talking about a word that's often used as God, but he wanted us to make sure that it was the universal wholeness. The universal wholeness is in us in a very true sense of the term, because as the originating principle of life, we have God, or universal spirit, out of which anything and everything was made. Therefore, every person is truly born of God. If this is true, then each person is primarily and fundamentally perfect, no matter what he or she has done to him or herself, what they have done to their self. We are fundamentally perfect because of the spirit that indwells the body, and we move into it because we have the abilities of the Creator in there. We have the ability to speak our word. And when I talk about prayer, I don't mean empty words that are thrown at a helpless situation. That is not the kind of prayer that we have here. What we have is the prayer that moves consciousness, what the practical application of this belief in God, this belief in the Creator, of being the divine child of a divinity, constantly evolving, constantly knowing. It gives me the ability to speak my word, to know that this moral compass that is inside of me has the ability to go beyond the immediate. Right now, we see this evolution happening in our country where people in droves, in thousands and thousands and millions of people, are saying, no more, we will not treat our brothers and sisters as less than. We will say Black Lives Matter. We will say that. And it has arrived there because collectively the consciousness has arrived at a place where we can say that together. It becomes important, especially on this high holy day, to be pulled by the vision. As we say, no more, I will live like this no more, to say, here is the way I will live. I will live in a way that lends respect and dignity to all people everywhere. I will live in a way that allows that dignity and respect to be reflected in my own being and to be given to other people everywhere. And it is from that moral compass, that place, that normal, whatever that is, becomes new. It is in that place on this high holy day, as children of fathers everywhere, that each of us begins to decide what that new normal is, that each of us begins to know that as I speak my word, I move consciousness. These are not empty words given to me in a helpless situation. No, these prayers are actions, bold actions going out into the consciousness, for I am collapsing that wave of energy into possibility using that which has been given to me by the Creator, knowing that that imagination allows me to collapse these things right into possibility. That is affirmative prayer. That is the kind of prayer that we have here, for we are religious scientists. We are spiritual scientists. We observe and look on nature and know that because I am born of the divine, each of us, as each of us are born of the divine, we are each given that ability to move the energy around us. We have that ability to speak my word on my own or another's behalf is to move the activity of the universe. Holmes says, a spiritual mind treatment, and that's what he calls this consciousness, a spiritual mind treatment for ourselves or another is a conscious, moving, active thing. The conscious approach that we make to first cause, and he capitalizes first cause, the universal wholeness, whatever we want to call the Creator, first cause. And he says, the only way intelligence can respond to itself, and that's us, the only way intelligence can respond to itself is by corresponding with itself. Our prayers are even the divine talking to itself, our divine talking to each other. He says, all we have to do is place our request, believe it, and let it alone. The hardest thing any person has to do is to learn to trust the universe. This new vision that we are crafting for our country, this new vision that we are beginning to know is already in us. And it is the divine calling it forth from inside of us. So that moral compass tells each of us what is ours to do. For some, it's protesting. For others, it's changing policy. For yet others, it's changing the way that we treat our neighbors every single day. That is the beauty of this. And he says, and here's how you do it. All right. We are to approach the present simply, directly, and easily because it is right within us. We can never get outside of ourselves. We shall always be interior in our comprehension. We only can understand only what we can understand, yes? Consequently, the one wishing to demonstrate must turn to his own mind and his own thought, because in his own mind and his own thought is a place where he is an individualized center of God consciousness. And then he ends this article by saying, when we have strengthened our belief by aligning ourselves with the nature of reality, which is wholeness and unity, goodness, truth, and beauty, we shall see that we do not have to contend with anything on earth. We don't have to contend with it. We do not have to struggle to find a place for ourselves in the sight of the Almighty, which is in the sight of our own spiritual nature. We are of it, no matter where we are. So today, know that we are each born of the Creator, that we honor our ancestral lineage by becoming our full self. Like the flower, the entire plant moves to allow that flower to bloom. Each of us Each of us is the bloom of our families. And because each of us is the bloom of our families, it is incumbent on us, incumbent on me to be the person I am intended to be, to find, using that moral compass, what it is that I'm supposed to be here, who I'm supposed to be with, how I'm supposed to proceed in this world. That's mine to do. And to act on that. To know that the experiences I wish to have are mine to have. Oh, it's a beautiful day. So today I wish every single father a happy Father's Day. And that stretches to fathers that are beyond the veil. Happy Father's Day. And on this high holy day, summer solstice, today is a day to join with the incredible energy that is around the world today, and to speak your word for yourself. What is the vision? Whether it be to create a vision for yourself, whatever that might be, allow yourself to have it. That is the point. That is the point. Allow yourself to have it. So on this high holy day, happy summer solstice, happy Father's Day. Namaste. It is time for, it's our prayer, and I invite all of the practitioners, wherever you are, to encircle this congregation, to know that every person is seated in holy ground. And so we begin. How good it is to fall in love, to know that this falling in love with the Creator is an act that appears to be an act of falling, is in fact an act of flying. For as I surrender everything in favor of this love, I am what it is. For this love that is everywhere is the sun streaming into the trees. It is the cry of that newborn baby. It is every father everywhere. For this one love is all there is, and I am one with it. I am one with it, for I can never be separate from it. I am one with this love, and as I surrender to it and allow myself to become it, I release all burden, all worry, all guilt, anything that stands in the way of my sunlight of the Spirit. I am what it is. And it is in that I know that every single person that is watching, that it watches this now or later, or comes in contact with this prayer, is also blessed. I know for each person here that he or she, they are part of that one goodness, that they each are part of that one love, and that this blessing goes out. And as each surrenders to this love, all burdens fall away, all worries, and each person is left so wholly and fully aligned with the divine that only grace follows. And it is in that blessing that I affirm and declare a blessing for fathers everywhere. For every father who is watching right now, I bless you. For every father who is part of our congregation, I bless every dad, every person, and every father in Albuquerque, in the world. For it is in that true blessing that the entire world evolves, that all of humanity evolves. For each of humanity is evolving in the divine. I affirm and declare health for all of those who seek it, love for those who require it, for it is with each of us. I affirm and declare that all of us have our needs met, and that full abundance is ours even today. For as each of us have that deep faith, I affirm and declare that deep faith, that each of us know that we know that we know. And it is in that following of that small voice inside that we all arrive to where that is. I am grateful. I am grateful for all of the people who stand strong in their consciousness for Black Lives Matter. Yes, they do. And as we all stand together in that, we know then that all lives matter. For until Black lives matter, all lives cannot matter. So together we know that all lives matter. Black lives matter. And I affirm and declare that all is resolved easily and effortlessly, and that as we evolve together, that each person is blessed. Each person is granted that dignity and respect. I am so grateful for my family. I am grateful for my brothers and my father and all of the fathers that came before him. I am grateful for my ancestral lineage. I'm grateful for who I have become. I'm grateful for this community and who we are together. I am grateful, and it is in that gratitude that I release my word, knowing it cannot come back to me void, knowing that it is already accomplished, my word. And so it is. Amen. Oh, thank you so much. So now's the time during our service where we share our financial abundance with each other. There's so many ways to share. You can text it, or you can go to rgcsl.org and press the donate button. And I appreciate every single dollar that flows through here. We are staying afloat, and it is because you all are helping us. So thank you for remembering to send your donations. Thank you for remembering to be with us. I am so grateful for you. I'm grateful for this community and for what we do together. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And with that, I would like to invite Ken and Kamatara up for their special song.
Hey everybody, good to see you again. I'm here with my favorite father. I'm a little biased, but he's a good one. This is Ken, and we're back in our loft ready to play a special song for you. So Ken, tell them about the song.
Hi, I'm Ken, and I want to add a little thing about this song. I'm also a teacher, and teachers rarely get to see the fruits of their labors. You know, it's the stuff that comes back to you maybe years later. Well, this is one that came back to me. About 30 years ago, I was teaching in a small town in Wisconsin, and a kid moved to town from Chicago, and he walked into my classroom and he asked me if he wanted to, if he could be in my band. I said, sure, what do you play? And he said, nothing. So I said, well, that doesn't necessarily mean you can't play. So I gave him a bass and showed him a couple patterns, showed him to play a little bit. And he was really interested. He became a great bass player, became a great addition to the band. He was just a really super kid and really talented young man. And after his 8th grade graduation, I lost touch with him until the blessings of social media came into play. And just a few years ago, through a friend of a friend, he came back into my world via social media. And as it turns out, this kiddo had gone on to become a renowned guitarist, toured the world. He became a songwriter, a jazz player, a blues player, and a flamenco player, again, touring the world as a player, playing with people like Yo-Yo Ma. And anyway, we reconnected and have since played together. And he has inspired me as a teacher and a musician, probably more than I could have inspired him. His name is Evan Christian. He's up in Milwaukee right now, and he wrote this song called Happy Man. So we're going to give it to you today. I just packed up my favorite plan, and with my guitar on my lap, I sat on back. It's so easy to achieve. Just take the time to breathe if you can. Oh, I've always known my purpose. It just took some time for me to take a stand. But I've always known it's worth it. Just took some faith for me to take a chance. Said I'm a happy man. Said I'm a happy man. Oh, I spent so many nights chasing all the lights and the fame. And I spent so many ducats drinking all my troubles away. And I've been so many places, and I've made so many friends along the way. But I try with all my might to love and not to lie. I can say said I'm a happy man. Said I'm a happy man. Said I'm a happy man. Said I'm a happy man.
Thank you so much. Beautiful. Oh, so that's about it for today. I do want to tell you that here is our plan, and you'll be hearing, we'll be fleshing it out this week. But the plan is to invite our musicians back into the sanctuary at the weekend of July 5th. So we will be doing a couple of practice runs on our services back here, full service with the musicians, platform assistant, high watchers, all of that, on July 5th and July 12th. And tentatively, we will be inviting our congregants back in July 19th. We are going to have a limited number of people that we can invite back because of government regulation and that sort of thing. And we're also wanting to make sure that we provide the safest environment that we can. So stay tuned. So right now, looking at July 19th for those people that would like to join us here. And I'll tell you a little bit more and what to expect when that happens. So that's that. Now, if you would like to join us in Zoom, please do, though that information should have gone out. If you do not have the information, please put it in chat and Annette will get you that information. And so I'll see you here in a few. I'd like to invite Marilyn in to say goodbye as well. Marilyn. Oops, hold on. I got it. There you go. Oh.
This has been great to be here and to listen to you. Thank you so much, Martha. And the music was divine.
It was divine today.
It was
wasn't it?
divine.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, Ken and Kamatara. All right. Well, with that, we'll go into the social hall, our Zoom. See you in a few. Goodbye. Happy Father's Day, everyone.